Hello, this is Tom, aka Gedeon, here for Tabletop Tap Room. Wow, OGL, Wizards of the Coast, is attempting to do some more repair. All of a sudden, there's something they're gonna do to repair the breach with the community. But before we get into that, let me just say thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. And if you have not hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon, please consider doing that to help me build the channel. I would appreciate it. So, Bob the World Builder, 5 hours ago, dropped a video. He got another email from Wizards of the Coast. And let me just throw this up. So, no slight on Bob in this at all. I appreciate what he's done for the hobby. I've followed him for a while, watched a lot of his videos. So I learned a lot about 5e from Bob the World Builder. So I don't want any of my comments to be taken as a criticism of him. But I'm going to be critical of WotC here, what's going on. So what they're doing, and there'll be a link. You can watch Bob's video. He'll read the full email that he got an email from Wizards of the Coast. They're holding a 2023 Creators Summit at their Washington headquarters. And so they're inviting creators to come out for this. Now, it's not for all creators. It's for those who got the email because they're offering to comp travel, room and board expenses. Bob said in his video that he's like, I know some of you're going to say. They're just trying to wine and dine us. And he said, I'm okay with being wine and dined. And I have to say this, my hypocrisy knows no bounds either. And I'm okay with being wined and dined. And when I've been wined and dined in the past, you know, I go in with a skeptical mind. They're trying to wine and dine me. Okay, let's look at their presentation. Let's think about it critically. Let's not rush to make a judgment. Let's take a step back and then figure out how we want to respond to this. So Bob the World Builder has been invited, and apparently he's going to go. And more props to him, you know, because my question would be, what's the dining? Steak or lobster? Surf or turf? You know, inquiring minds want to know. But what is really going on here? Well, part of the criticism against Wizards of the Coast that has been done by Bob, by Nerd Immersion, Professor Dungeon Master, and I feel like I'm leaving out the OGGM on this, and I'm sure there are others that I'm just not aware of, but I feel like I'm leaving out the OGGM on this, that Wizards has failed to bother with going to conventions and engaging the community, you know, players, gamers, content creators, vendors, publishers. So they failed to do this, and they've been taking criticism of it, and all of a sudden they want to have a creator summit. You know, the question is the cost of benefit analysis on this, does it play out? Well, you know, sure, there's a cost with sending a handful of staffers to a convention, to a few key conventions, a few of the big ones like Gen Con, Gary Con, you know, some of the big ones that would, you know, would be important to send some staffers to, have a booth, engage with the public, you know, bring along a big beholder for people to take photos with, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know. Stuff like that. And engage and listen to what the community's saying. Put your finger on the pulse. They have no idea what the pulse of the community is. And they're not going to find out what the pulse of the community is, because this thing is being run by their influencer team, although the influencer team's name has suddenly been changed to the Content Creator Relations team or something like that. You know, Bob will tell you when you watch his video. So they've changed the name. It's cosmetic, and but it's still the influencer team. We're trying to influence. We have no idea what the pulse of the community is, and we don't care. We're inviting a select few. It's just the same thing we saw done with the interviews. We are going to select a handful, you know, and some of them were like no-name channels that hadn't even fully, you know, done their 1,000 subscribers yet. although those channels suddenly got 1,000 subscribers after the interview because of the stir it created. But it's a curated. They're not going to get the pulse of the community. They don't want to talk to the unwashed herd. They don't want to talk to the masses, to the huddled masses, the unwashed herd. They don't want to rub elbows, because if you go to a convention, you're going to end up interacting with somebody, a gamer fan who, he's rolled a 1 on applying deodorant. He's rolled a 1 on the frequency with which he takes a shower. Maybe you're going to interact with some of that, and don't want to. They're attempting to try to repair, but it's really disingenuous, because it's pretty much what went on with this PR campaign of interviews that they tried, that a lot of us weren't buying, and a lot of the viewers were like, not buying what Kyle Brink is selling. So now the influencer team is going to get involved and attempt to influence a select curated group of content creators. Now, that's what they're attempting to do. And so I think that is what we're going to see here in the future. People come back from the summit and report out on it, that it's a continuation of the PR campaign. Just want to remind everyone, there's not been a good apology. There's been nothing but smoke, doubling down on BS lies that we know are lies, and just dog whistles. Kyle Brink with some of his dog whistles, and that the rest of us are not buying because we're not stupid. So this is the continuation of that campaign, and I predict that it's not going to suddenly change and be a sincere attempt at engagement. A sincere attempt at engagement, send some staffers to Gen Con. Send some staffers to some conventions. You don't have to go to small ones. You don't have to go to small ones. Go to some of the big regional conventions. Put up a booth. Get a vendor's booth. Engage with people. Talk with people. Find out what the pulse of the community is. First, you see a corpse, not a corpse, but you see a body laying on the ground. You go up. First thing you do, you shake are you all right? Feel for a pulse. Check for breathing. They have no clue what the pulse of the community is, and they don't even know how to take the pulse. They're just kind of, let's see if we can kick this body on the ground and force it to move the way we want it to move. We'll kick it. Oh, see, it moved because we kicked it. That's what they're trying to do. That's the equivalent of what they're trying to do. You're not going to revive somebody by kicking them. I mean, you need to do the things. You've got to take the pulse. No idea what the pulse of the community is. They don't care. They just don't care. Okay? Somebody who goes up and checks for breathing and checks for a pulse, they care enough. Oh my God, hey, this person might be in distress. They might need help. Let me do this. Because, if they don't have a pulse and they don't have breathing, maybe they need CPR. And I would be happy to help. They'd rather spend more money on a curated list of content creators that they choose because they don't want any negativism. They don't want anybody asking tough questions. That's what they don't want. So that they can control the situation. They can influence the situation. Whoa, yeah, we don't have an influencer team anymore. We changed its name, but it's still the same team. It's still doing what they're trying to do, and it's patently obvious. Now, if you're a content creator and you're going, I hope you do go. It's their dime. I would eat all the shrimp, eat all the lobster, eat all the steak. I hope they treat you good. Okay? But think critically, please, and report back for the rest of us, because this is Wizards of the Coast shining us on. And I got a feeling it's going to stink when you pull back the curtain. Don't pay any attention to that man behind the curtain trying to pull the levers and push the buttons. And that's all Wizards of the Coast is they're the wizard from Wizard of Oz behind the curtain trying to pull levers and push buttons, okay, and manipulate the situation. But when you pull back the curtain and you find out that it's just goofiness and stupidity, that's what it is. And so I hope the people who go have their thinking caps on, they're thinking critically, and because I don't expect much from this. I expect it to be a continuation of the PR campaign, which is just, oops, boy, we stepped in it. Let's not apologize. Let's just double down on some of our lies and spin. We'll do some dog whistles to distract people. That's what has gone on since the oops, we stepped in it. And that's what's continuing to go on that I see. They're not really engaged, and they're not willing to do anything to find the pulse of the community. They don't care if the body is in distress. They don't care. They just want to control the situation. Very sad. So good luck, Bob, while you're out there. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I hope they do serve you some good surf and turf. So this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room signing out. More of the OGL drama going on. This is more of the PR campaign to try to repair them stepping in the poo-poo. The dog do. Because they stepped in it good. But I don't hold out much hope for anything good coming out of this. It's just an attempt to influence. It's the same team, the influencers, just a new name, touchy-feely, content creators relations. So I'm not buying it, but I'm not going either. So this is Tom signing out. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. And don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, bell icon. Help me build the channel. But until then, keep on gaming.